Good evening. It is 5:30. We'll call the February 22nd, 2022 meeting of the Mill Creek Township Board of Supervisors to order. Would you please rise for the pledge of the flag? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Shaw, we have a agenda amendment.
Yes, we do. Before we get started with the items that are on the existing agenda, I have two agenda items to be added in accordance with Section 712E of the Right to Know law that was recently amended. Under that section, upon a majority vote of the individuals present and voting during the conduct of a meeting, an agency may add a matter of agency business to the agenda. The reasons for the changes to the agenda shall be announced at the meeting before any vote is conducted to make those changes to the agenda. The agency may subsequently take official action on the matter added to the agenda. The agency shall post the amended agenda on the agency's publicly accessible internet website, if available, and at the agency's principal office location no later than the first business day following the meeting on which the agenda was changed. The first agenda item to be added consists of a request from Erie County's CDBG administrator to confirm by letter the township's intent to utilize CDBG funding to install ADA-compliant sidewalks. This is a matter that arose after the agenda was posted and needs to be addressed due to the time constraints for submitting CDBG projects. Based on the above, I would recommend that this item be added to the agenda under item number 18. And then the second agenda item consists of a request for approval of Township Project Engineer John Sebesta to attend an 8-hour hazardous waste operations and emergency response program on February 25th of 2022. This also came up after the agenda was posted and is time sensitive due to the date of the training occurring in 3 days. The cost of that class is $140 and he will travel to the training using his personal vehicle. Based on the above, I would recommend that this item be added to the agenda under what will now be item 19, communications, training requests.
Thank you, Mr. Shaw.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to add those two items to the agenda.
Okay, and I will second. Mrs. Claire?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Is there any public comment on any of the agenda items other than development or rezoning applications? Okay. Move on to the next item, the approval of the minutes of the February 8th, 2022 regular meeting. Are there any comments or questions from the board?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes, accept the approval of the minutes.
Okay, and I will second. Mrs. Claire?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Next item is approval of the bills. Any comments or questions on those? Is there a motion for approval?
I make a motion to approve the bills.
Okay, and I will second. Mrs. Claire?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Moving on to bids and quotations, the first item would be patrol car computers for the police department. Mrs. Claire?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I spoke with Chief Height regarding the patrol car computers that are going to be purchased. Excuse me. And the patrol car computers are going to be replacing the old computers, and we actually have 5 new cars that have been purchased as well because of the wear and tear that those take. So what we're doing is we're actually going to be putting these, we actually received the cars a lot sooner than we thought we were going to. So I think that the new computers are going to go in the new cars. These new computers are going to be able to, for lack of a better word, talk to all of the devices that they're wearing. So they can stay safe while they're, at a stop, or if they're going to a home. Everything that they are saying is going to be, of course, videoed, and it goes right over to the computer. And I don't know if many of you know this, but most of what police officers do is, catalog what happens at an incident. So they spend a lot of time on the computer, and their office is their car. So anyway. These will be replacing the no longer available parts for a new computer.
Okay.
I would also add, Mr. I would also add, Mr. Chairman, that the cost for this is $10,396, and it's under a CoStar's contract number 003-445.
Okay, very good.
Mr. Chairman, this also was this was a budgeted item as well.
Great.
So it's not coming out of the fund balance.
All right. Would you like to make that a motion then?
Oh, I'd like to make a motion to approve the patrol car computers.
Okay, and I will second. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Next item on the agenda is the replacement of the Asbury Barn carpeting. And I can take that.
Oh.
Unless you'd like to?
Oh, no, I was going to make a motion or something.
Okay. Okay, the Asbury Barn is in need of replacement of the carpet flooring in the lower level of the barn. This item was also included in the capital budget for this year. There was $14,500 allotted for the project, and a quote from South One under PA contract license PA 016377 is $8,991. That leaves a capital budget surplus of $5,509. South One Supplies procurement vendor is 535729. It's a recommendation of Ashley Marsteller, who is the Parks and Rec Director, to approve this, this purchase. And this will also include the installation by South One Supply for $8,991. I'll do that in the form of a motion.
And I second.
All right, Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Next item on the agenda is a public hearing on subdivision and land development plans. The first item will be the Crystal Court Limited Partnership, Brian Paul Martin and Patrick J. Martin, small subdivision plan. Mr. Waldinger.
Thank you. Good evening. At their regular meeting of Tuesday, February 1st, 2022, the Mill Creek Township Planning Commission recommended approval of this subdivision.
Thank you, Matt. We'll open the public hearing. Is there someone here to speak on behalf of the Crystal Court Partnership? Mr. Sanford.
Good evening, Mike Sanford, 4721 Atlantic Avenue. I'm the surveyor that made the plan. Basically, they would like to subdivide one new lot, and then there's 2 side lot additions. That's really it's a pretty simple plan. Make one new lot and 2 side lot additions.
Okay. Mr. Waldinger, were there any further comments from the Planning Commission?
No, there were no comments and no one appeared from the public in question.
All right. Any comments or questions from the board?
None.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Sanford. Is anyone else here wishing to speak on this proposal? Okay. We'll go ahead and close the hearing on this matter. Is there a motion for approval?
I move to approve this subdivision.
Okay, and I will second. Mrs. Claire?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay, the next item on the agenda is the Westminster Place replot. Mr. Waldinger?
Thank you. At their regular meeting of Tuesday, February 1st, 2022, the Mill Creek Township Planning Commission recommended approval of this plan with the following requirements: that the Mill Creek Township index number be added to the drawing, as well as the square footage of the buildings that were shown on the plan. Subsequent to the Planning Commission meeting, the developer did submit a new drawing that corrected those 2 items.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll open the hearing for the Westminster Place replot. Is there someone here to speak on behalf? Come on up, sir. Please state your name and address for the record, and sign the ledger there, please.
Hi, my name is Mark Zimmerman, address 443 Athena Drive, Delmont, Pennsylvania. Hi, so this subdivision plan is a matter of taking 4 existing parcels and repositioning those lot lines to create 3 parcels. There is a car wash that was previously approved by the supervisors. That'll go on Lot 2 of this subdivision. This is just finalizing those lot lines for the development.
Okay,
And I'd be happy to take any questions you may have.
okay. Looks pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've already been briefed on these. Just so the public knows, we come into this having all the background information.
Thank you.
Okay. I don't have any further questions.
I don't have
for
any
Mr.
questions
Zimmerman.
either.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else here wish to speak on this topic? Okay, we'll close the hearing.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the Westminster Place.
Okay, and I will second. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Next item, item 8, is the conditional use request from Bartlett Signs for property located at 2968 and 2978 West 12th Street, installing new signage in the Resort Commercial District. Mr. Waldinger.
Thank you. Sorry, thank you. At their regular meeting of Tuesday, February 1st, 2022, the Mill Creek Township Planning Commission recommended approval of this conditional use request. Just wanted to clarify for the board, since it has been a little while since we've had a conditional use come before the board. In conditional use, you look to 4 things that have to be true in order to approve the conditional use. The one is that the use of the property is a legal use. A variance was granted for this use of the property in 2010, so the use is a legal use. 2, that the applicant meets all sections of the sign code. In this case, there was an issue with the sign code that there had a maximum square footage permitted of the sign of 75.2 square feet. The applicant did correct their initial application before the Planning Commission. They are proposing a 69 square foot sign, so that does meet all sections of the sign code. 2, that none of the signs contain an electronic message center, which they do not, so it meets that. And then 4 would be any conditions that the board felt were reasonable to be imposed on the application.
Thank you, Mr. Waldinger. Okay, we will open the hearing for the 2968 and 2978 West 12th Street property. Is there someone here to speak on behalf? State your name and address for the record, please, and please also sign the register.
Kent Bartlett, Bartlett Signs, 7628 Clier Drive, Fairview, Pennsylvania, 16415. Do you have any questions? Anything?
No, it sounds like you actually came in undersized.
Yeah, we came in, there's several brand sizes. So
Right.
I mean, initially that was the size that, there's larger sizes, and so we downsized when we
Sure.
talked to Matt. So
Okay.
yeah, we're under square footage now. The pylon sign, when my dad initially put that thing up for splashes, the car wash that was there, Zilnia, it's actually the same size that was up there back then, so we're not increasing the square footage that the structure initially was designed for, so, all pretty
Okay.
very dry. If there's any questions I can answer.
I do not have any questions, no.
Thank you, Mr. Bartlett.
Thank you, sir.
Anyone else here wish to speak on this topic here for West 12th Street? Okay, we'll close the hearing. Is there a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve the Bartlett signs.
Okay, I will second. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Item 9 is new and amended ordinance is under review. This is the proposed zoning ordinance amendment. Mr. Shaw.
Yes, as we've discussed at several prior meetings, there is pending a zoning ordinance that has been vetted numerous times and is, you might as well join this with the next item on the agenda, which is the referral of the proposed zoning ordinance amendments to the Planning Commission and the County Planning Department. As you know, that the Township's Planning and Development Office has been working on amending and restating its zoning ordinance, as I indicated, for some time. A public meeting was held on December 6th of 2021, and at that meeting, a number of comments were expressed and several written comments were submitted. We gave the public until December 20 of 2021 to submit more written comments. The township has reviewed those comments, and changes have been made to the draft ordinance that was presented at that time in December. And while some provisions of the ordinance have remained the same, other portions have been reorganized, streamlined, and/or revised substantially. At this time, the draft ordinance is ready to be submitted to the Planning Commission and the Erie County Planning as required under the Municipalities Planning Code. Under the code, those parties have 30 days prior to a supervisor hearing on the ordinance to review and comment on the ordinance. Here our intent is to have no less than 45 days between sending the draft to the Commission and County and the date of hearing. Here the current target is for the supervisors to hold their hearing on April 19th of 2022 on this proposed ordinance and to take action after that hearing. The recommendation is to forward the draft version of the zoning ordinance to the Planning Commission and Erie County Planning on or before March 4th of 2022, which is next Friday, which would give the 45-day period because that would run on April 18th, and then the township could have the hearing on April 19th. The current version of the draft, along with a red line from the 12.1 version, which is the last version that we had, I believe is now up on the website, Matt?
Yes, it is.
Is now up on the website for people to review. The plan and thought is to get it up on the website now with the recommendation to submit it to the Planning Commission and County on next Friday to give folks a chance to give us any additional comments that may come up as a result of the changes that we have before we actually send the document to the Planning Commission and the county planning. So that would be the recommendation, again, is to forward that draft version on or before March 4th of 2020, as I indicated, which is next Friday. Okay. And this doesn't mean that the supervisors are voting for or against the ordinance. It's simply one of the steps that the supervisors have to do is to forward that ordinance to those two organizations for their review before they could actually hold a hearing on it and then ultimately vote on it.
Okay. Thank you, Mark. So what we need now is a motion to forward to our township planning and also Erie County planning.
I would like to make a
Correct.
motion to forward the proposed zoning ordinance amendments to the Planning Commission and to County Planning Department.
Okay, and I'll second that. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
And I vote yes.
Mr. Chairman,
Mrs. Clear?
I just want to thank our solicitor, Mark Shaw, for explaining that we are not voting. That vote was not for the actual proposed map. That was for the referral of the map.
Correct.
Okay, all right. I just want to say it again so everyone's clear.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 11 is Resolution 2022-R8. A resolution pursuant to Resolution 2015-R20 and the Municipal Records Manual to approve proposed disposition of certain township records. In this case, this will be MPD dash cam videos to be deleted between February 23rd of this year and March 8th of this year due to reaching the end of the required retention period. Is there a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve this resolution 2015-R20.
Okay. And
Oh, sorry, R8. 2022-R8.
And I second. Mrs. Claire?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Item 12 is authorization for the township solicitor to intervene in a zoning hearing appeal. Mr. Shaw.
Yes, on February 10th of 2022, the owners of property located at 509 Arbuckle Drive filed an appeal of the Mill Creek Township Zoning Hearing Board's determination, appeal number 21-27. The appeal was filed against the Zoning Hearing Board, and the township is not currently a party to the matter, just given how that procedure works. However, if the township wishes to defend its position in the Zoning Hearing Board matter, or if an appeal is ultimately made to the Commonwealth Court, the township needs to intervene in this action. Given how the procedure is the Zoning Hearing Board doesn't defend Commonwealth Court portion of it. If it happens to get appealed before the Court of Common Pleas, the township has to do that. So if we don't intervene, we would lose that opportunity. So we have reviewed the matter, and we would recommend intervening in that appeal. and asking for your approval to do so.
Okay, any comments or questions from the board?
No, thank you. I'd like to make a motion to authorize our township solicitor to intervene in the zoning hearing appeal.
Okay, and I will second. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Item 13 is amendment for the appraisal agreement for San Martino, Stout, and Lopresti. Mr. Waldinger?
Yes, thank you. At the regular meeting of December 14th, 2021, the Board of Supervisors approved an agreement with San Martino, Stout, and Lopresti to provide appraisals of properties identified on the official map for a fee of $12,500. Before you is an amended letter of engagement with the firm for additional appraisal services, which would bring the total of the agreement to $19,500. I would recommend that the board authorize the chair to sign the amended letter of engagement for a new total of $19,500.
Thank you, Mr. Waldinger. Any comments or questions from the board?
No, I'd like to make a motion to amend the appraisal agreement.
Okay, and I will second. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Item 14 is a memorandum of agreement with AFSCME for the Animal Control Officer. Mrs. Clear?
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. We have an animal control officer that was hired about 6 months ago. And after, I think our previous one was there for 13 years. We are recommending to the board an MOA, Memorandum of Agreement, that the control officer will be on the dispatch pay scale. And for a multitude of reasons, he is on call, and he is basically on, he has the ability to, he carries a gun, and he has the ability also to, I believe, do zoning violations as well. So with those other duties, that's where we felt it necessary to move him into the dispatch pay. So
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the memorandum of agreement with AFSCME for the animal control officer.
Okay. And I will second that. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Item 15 is a sale of property from County Repository for unsold properties. Erie County Index 33, 117, 49720. Properties on Perry Highway. Mr. Shaw?
Yes, Township received a letter and application from Erie County concerning the sale of a parcel of property from the repository for unsold properties. Parcels in the repository were not sold at either the Erie County tax upset sale or the judicial sale. Properties in the repository can be purchased for $250, and they exonerate all tax claims. This particular parcel is located on Perry Highway, tax ID 33-117-497.1-020.00. The total taxes due for the three organizations, the county, the township, and the school district, is $5,507.37. They haven't been paid in like 25 years, I think, so it's been around for a long time. The township portion of that total is $535.87. The letter I would note that the letter of intent from the buyer and applicant indicated he wanted to put a small sign on the property. The township did reach out to advise the applicant that there may be sign restrictions that would be applicable to the property, so he fully understands what he's getting as he's buying.
Okay.
Based on the above, I would recommend that the township sign off on the sale of the property. Under the standards, the township, I believe, can only object if there was a reasonable basis to do so, and there doesn't appear to be one here. Whether the buyer ultimately goes through with the process, that's really up for him to decide with the county, but I would recommend that we approve, we sign off on this sale.
Okay, thank you very much. Any comments or questions?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to for the sale of the property from the county repository.
And I will second. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Item 16 is an application for exemption from Erie County real property taxes, 5131 Evans Road. Mr. Shaw?
Yes, a few months ago, the township purchased property located at 5161 Evans Road with tax ID number 33-117-496-1. In order to exempt that property from county property taxes, The township needs to file for an exemption with the Erie County Tax Assessment Office. A hearing then would be held on the exemption request. I would recommend authorizing the solicitors to file the application for exemption from the Erie County real estate property taxes.
Okay, any comments or questions?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to accept the application for exemption of the Evans Road property from property taxes.
Okay, and I'll second. Mrs. Claire?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Item 17 is the 2022 part-time and seasonal wage scale, or schedule, I'm sorry. It's a request from our HR director, Diane Lyons. We're at that time of year where we're doing a lot of our summer help hiring, including the Mill Fair Compost Center and also a lot of our parks and recreation and golf course maintenance labor positions. So this is approving the wage scales for all of those positions, and they range anywhere from $10.50 an hour to $19 an hour. So this is a needed adjustment in order to attract good qualified people. That's getting more and more difficult as time goes on. So I will put that in the form of a motion for approving this new pay schedule.
I'll second that.
All right, Mrs. Claire?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Moving on.
Oh, Mr. Chairman,
Yep, go
I
ahead.
would just like to say that please tell all of your family and friends about the great opportunities at Mill Creek Township for work during the summer and our part-time positions. Actually, they're available all the time. It's a great place to work. Everyone wants to work for Mill Creek Township, and we're offering great wages that are very competitive out there. So if you want to have fun, come to Mill Creek. Thanks. That's my pitch.
Thank you.
And if you want to work hard too, because if you're not just going to have fun, you're going to work hard and have fun. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
That's a great point. Thank you. Mark, did you want to move into communications, or you want to handle the CDBG?
Yeah, I'll do the CDBG next as the new number 18.
Okay.
As I indicated earlier, we had gotten a letter, or received a request from the county administrator, who oversees the CDBG funding that the township receives from the federal government, seeking a letter from a township supervisors confirming that the supervisors intend to identify the installation of sidewalk projects in 2022 and 2023 for their CDBG funding. These are sidewalks that are required to be installed under the Americans with Disabilities Act. This request is being made, frankly, because there's a disagreement between the township and the U.S. Department of Urban and Housing Development that oversees the CDBG funding, whether these sidewalk projects qualify as an eligible project. Our recommendation would be to authorize the drafting and sending of the letter being requested by the county CDBG administrator.
Okay, thank you. Any comments or questions?
No. I'd like to make a motion to approve the CDBG
Approval of the letter.
approval of the letter for the CDBG funding.
Okay. I will second. Mrs. Claire?
Yes.
And I vote yes. You handle that other training request under 19 or under our training request?
I would handle under the training request.
Very good. Okay, we'll move on to communications, treasurer communications. Anything, Melanie?
We don't have anything.
Okay, thank you. First training request is from Mill Creek Police. Mrs. Claire?
Yes, the Mill Creek Police are requesting approval to attend a digital evidence investigations course in Hoover, Alabama, from February 28th through March 4th. The training is sponsored by the United States Secret Service, and all the training and the travel costs are funded by their agency. So this is free training by the Secret Service for digital evidence. This is pretty cool. Okay, That was professional, wasn't it? Calling it pretty cool, Mr. Chairman?
Is that a motion to approve?
I would like to make a motion to approve this training.
Okay, and I'll second. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Next item is the training request from Parks and Recreation Director Ashley Marsteller. That'd be to attend the PA Parks and Recreation Society Annual Conference, which is in the Poconos, March 29th through April 1st of this year. Total expenses for the conference with registration fees, lodging comes to $1,242.24. And I will put that in the form of a motion.
And I will second it.
Okay, Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
And I vote yes. And Mr. Waldinger, we have a training request from your office.
Yes, I'd like to seek permission for project engineer John Sebesta to attend an 8-hour hazardous waste operations and emergency response refresher course, which is happening this Friday, February 25th, from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. at Union Station in Erie. The cost of this class is $140, and he will travel to the training in his personal vehicle. This annual refresher course is necessary for John to maintain his certification. There are monies in the planning and development training budget to cover this request, and I would recommend that the board approve his attendance.
Thank you, Matt. Any comments or questions?
No.
Is there a motion to approve?
Yes, motion to approve the training for John Sebesta.
Okay, and I'll second. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
And I vote yes. All right, executive sessions were held on February 10th and the 17th to review various legal matters within the township. Moving on to solicitor communications, Mr. Shaw.
Nothing further.
Thank you. Next item will be citizens to be heard. Anyone wishing to address the board tonight? Okay, very good. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
And I will second. All right, meeting's adjourned. It is at 6:04. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for coming, everyone. We appreciate it.